Hey guys, sorry for the delay. We'll be on in just a minute. Hey, what's going on, James?
Shady silhouetted images and industry teasers are finding their way into our homes and invading our minds. Their calculated information is delivered to feed our addiction for radio-controlled frequencies. It's an RC conspiracy. But we are on your side, cracking the RC code. Because the truth is out there. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast. Get your decoder rings ready and put on those tinfoil hats because your fearless leader is here. Please welcome your host, the lead RC conspiracist, Tony CC. Tony CC. Welcome to the RC Conspiracies podcast.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another RC Conspiracies. And you know where it's at. We got a couple things to talk about tonight. No real conspiracies other than that we can say the Redcat Gen 8 Axe Edition looks mint. We talked about that last week. That was kind of our conspiracy. They were releasing a whole bunch of stuff, and then they dropped the photos and everything on us, and wow, that thing was awesome. Got a bunch of guys in the chat already. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. Had to get everything reset up for some reason. And it took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. So, yeah, got everything back up and running. Want to make sure that I point out a couple of the guys. RC Guy Garage is in there. Chris L. Rocks, James Price, Midget Man RC. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about RC monster trucks today. I've got something. I've actually got it on my phone. I need to send it to my computer for you guys to talk about because it's one of the things that we're going to talk about. And it's going to be cool. So I was on, maybe we can do it on here. Maybe I can show you what Bucks RC World showed me right on my phone. Is that even more conspiracy theory like? I think it might be. What do you guys think? Mets RC, I'm slacking. I know, man. 5 minutes late. Hey, one of the things I do want to talk about is that there's another live stream going on right now. 11 Charlie RC, my buddy over there. And so a bunch of my buddies are over in that chat as well. And so we're talking about changing things up, and that's why this is titled Changes for the New Year. I'm thinking that I'm going to move mine to Tuesday nights. And so that's something I just have to talk about with you guys, figure out how that's going to look and what that's going to be like. But I'm thinking, yeah, it doesn't make sense for us to be doing the same night, kind of pulling people from each other. And so just to be cool with each other, just want to... I think move mine because I like Monday Night Football, and I'm missing it right now too. So that's another reason that I would like to maybe change mine anyway. Selfishly would like to watch some Monday Night Football. So Rich Homan is in. How's it going, everybody? He is triple streaming. See, that's what I'm talking about. I know RC Guy Garage was on streaming earlier. He's been streaming like a madman. Like 4-hour streams the past couple nights I've been on in there. You know, we've got Javier or Xavier. We've got the Tank on Thursday night, Steve O.D. Friday night. We've got the 11 Charlie's one tonight. RC Garage has been all around that. So, but there is a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff going on here. that Bucks RC, it made him raise a few questions, and so I like that. And so we're gonna take a look at a couple things that he sent me, because I thought it would be cool to share with you guys what he was seeing, and then also what I was seeing. So let's start with that. Let's start with the interesting stuff, because yeah. So starting out over on the Son of a Digger stream, there's photos of SMT-10s in like a wall with a couple jumps, and there's a bunch of kids there. And I saw that. I saw some pictures. They had a Christmas party down there at Digger's Dungeon. The Andersons were all there, had a group of people, looked like they had a lot of fun. But there was something that was really intriguing about these pictures. And so they had a bunch of SMT-10s sitting on a table. And then they had some kids driving them. And they're holding Spectrum controllers. Could these be the new SMT-10s that we're going to be seeing? That's the question that Bucks World was asking me. What do you guys think? Do they have some down there at Digger's Dungeon? Maybe they've been sent pre-release ones? What do you guys think in the conspiracy chat? Let's take a look in the conspiracy chat. Midget Man says he's not going to lie. I thought it was Tuesday till he went live. That's cool, man. Chase McNeil, this is a good question we should talk about. What are you looking forward to the most in 2020 as far as RC is concerned? The SMT-10 re-release is one of the things that I am so much looking forward to, because I've got build plans and things that I want to do. So if these guys are rocking some stuff here, maybe it's not going to be too long until we see them being talked about for us. So what is it? It is the 9th. We were pretty much promised 2 weeks ago that we would be seeing this SMT-10 as he had stated, which would be, Greg had said, in Q3 or Q4. And so that pretty much leaves this month. It's the 9th of this month, which means, look at all the red warnings I have for all the alerts and stuff. 462 unread emails, 39 missed calls / voicemails. Yikes. Been busy. All Out RC says, I would love that. I've been waiting for a re-release forever. Crazy Cam Kalani says, actually would be flat out stupid to not bring the SMT-10 back. Oh, it's coming back, my friend. It is coming back this month. I am sure of it. Pretty much. As much as I'm sure that Christmas is happening this month. And that's about how sure I am. So Rich saying, agreed the SMT would be an epic re-release. What I'm curious about is, they've been listening to us. We know they've been listening to us. So I'm really curious to see what changes they might have made to it. They got to have made a couple of changes to it based on, they came to the races. They saw what we do with them. They see Solid Axle Monster Mayhem. And so I think that we're going to see some updates to him. I don't know what. James Price says, are we getting kits or RTR SMT-10? That was a whole table of Gravediggers. That's what I saw. So maybe there's some other stuff, but they don't have them out, or they don't want them being pictured yet. And so the Gravedigger's okay, but I'm not sure. But I'm guessing it would be crazy not to do a Gravedigger or something that kids would want to just buy out of the box, ready to run, looks like a monster truck, right? So, yeah, so that is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that name is so big that that'll still be out. Midget Man says brushless SMT-10 stock. Yeah, my only hope is that it's not a 27 turn. You know, we've seen now the Sen come out and it's fast. With a brushed motor, I'm okay with a brushed motor. I just want it to be faster. You know, like the Stampede was even fairly quick. Speaking of conspiracies and stampedes, RC Funds Diversions. Hey, man. Look at what I got. Yeah. I got one that is super hard to find. The Stampede Traxxas son of a digger. And it's not too scraped up. There's some wear on the edges there on the back. A little bit of scratches on the corners. But for the most part, the stickers and stuff look pretty good on it. Now, it's pretty dusty. The blues are pretty... I don't know if it's dusty, if I can bring back the color, but I went ahead and just bought all new blue plastic parts for it. So this thing can be looking pretty mint again. I'm also going to, of course, it's not going to be stock. It'll probably be running the 12-turn Titan motor, but I will probably go with, a Spectrum receiver, and I'll probably stick with it. It came with two XL5s. This one's kind of hanging here. I don't know why. There's screws up in the chassis. It's just not screwed in. So there's no receiver or anything, but it did come with two XL5s. I just need to button it all up, see how it's running. Make sure that it's working. And what's not, I can easily replace. Pretty easy. Let me get back to the chat here and see what you guys are saying. RC Master, not kids, Tony. No, not for kids. Midget Man says, do a bro dozer. That would be pretty cool. What would be really cool is if somebody did a bro dozer and then they put like a steam in it, like a smokestack kind of thing to make it kind of puff out smoke, kind of like trains used to do. That would be hot. That needs to happen. Somebody make it happen. Yeah, we could talk about what licensed bodies we want to see. An SMT Taurus. If Traxxas were to join Solid Axle Monster Truck crowd, would it be a TRX 4 Sport with portals and actual diffs? He says the TRX 4 is indestructible. I don't think that they would do portals because the scale guys wouldn't buy it. They wouldn't want that. So that's my thought. Bar Harbor Basher, welcome. Am I going to get into drifting? Mark is asking. Yeah, I just got mine finally hooked up, man. And now I need to get back out there and get it running because I haven't really got to play with it yet and see how it does. But it's definitely dialed in better than it was. And so now I need to do that. I also need to finish. I brought both of my son of a diggers over. So this is the bigger version. I actually have one more. I have the Stampede one. But this is my heavy steel one. And this thing's like 90% done. I don't know why I don't finish it. I pretty much just have to put on the metal trailing arms. And then I'm done. It's kind of stupid that I haven't finished it. But that's all that needs, as well as maybe some better shocks. SMT Samson would be so nice. They're not going to do that because of licensing. It's through Feld. And J Concepts is doing Samson bodies. So you can make an SMT Samson if you want. But, yeah. Oh, RC Master said, I mean to say, I want the Gravedigger or Son of a Digger for myself and not the kids. Oh, totally, man. Yeah. Nah. That's for me. Stampedes, I don't care what anybody says. The Traxxas Stampede is one of the most fun RCs out there. 2-wheel drive. I don't need 4-wheel drive with that thing. I don't care that it's independent. It's just a blast to drive that thing. So, that's just my opinion. Looks like I'm a little behind in the viewer chat. Let's see here. We're still looking. Somebody says Michael used to own an HPI Sprint 2. Net Cruiser, I feel that way about all things I've not finished too. Hey guys. Yeah, that thing is so close to getting done. As well as the Rock Bouncer. It's so close. Although I need to refill one of the shocks because I did not cap it right and it started leaking. One of them. So whatever. Yeah, the kids can look at it. I've got another body for the Traxxas. So I'm actually going to run it. I'm going to drive this one and I'm going to run it with this body. And I've got one that is like mint in a bag up there. I'm not in the studio, but the studio is right over there. So my back wall of my studio, I'm like looking at it off to my right. That's where all the cars are stacked. And they're actually not all there because I took like 7 of them racing. And so they're all down in the garage. That's as far as they made it. I haven't brought them all back up. So I can't really shoot any videos for a while because there's a whole empty shelves over there. It looks terrible. But I do have another. And I have a pretty cool Bigfoot body up there. And a spare Max D body. And a spare Gravedigger SMT-10 body in there. I've planned this time better than I did when I had the Traxxas Stampede and I destroyed that Gravedigger, and now I can't really get a new one. So, any of you guys noticed Brandon, Fresh Squeeze RC, got to collaborate with Hoonigan Burnyard? Just got off the phone with him. What an epic adventure. I saw that on Instagram, and that thing is insane. Super insane. Chevy Man said he's seen on Amazon has 2-wheel drive for $159. Which one is that for the 2-wheel drive? Let's see if we can find it. Amazon. Is it a Traxxas Stampede? Let's go over. Feels like it should be the Batman sound when it spins like that. But so Amazon. I think he's talking about 2-wheel drive Stampede. For $159. Maybe it's not like a body, licensed body. Okay. Those are 4-wheel drives. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's one for $170. 2-wheel drive. Now those ones, I'm sorry. Those don't count. I'm going to be picky about my 2-wheel drive Stampedes that I think are epic to run. And that's okay. There's no battery. That's fine. Hey, Aussie RC Playground. Welcome. No, see, the thing I don't like about the 4-wheel drive Stampede is the tires. They've got these basher tires on. I mean, it's got a cool truck body. I'll give it that. But it just looks like a Slash with a lifted body on it. So the 2-wheel drive does not have that look. It's got way more ground clearance to them. Actually, that one looks not any better for whatever reason. The Monster Jam versions look better, or the Bigfoot even. Part of it's the tires. So what I also got is I just got the original Bigfoot because that's getting harder to find too with the original body, not this flame one, which the flame one is cool. The flame one is really cool. But I wanted the original before. That's not easy to get. I don't like at all the new one that has the Traxxas color flames on it. Don't like that one. This is the one I just got. Straight up original looking Bigfoot. Number 1, the original monster truck. So I got that. I do like the one that has the flames. I'm not going to lie. I do like the white flame going back. This is the one I don't care for. And maybe it looks better in person. I've been finding that out recently. Like when I say I don't like something and then I see it in person, I'm like, oh, well, it's not that bad. See, I like this a lot with the white going back. It just really stands out. And they're going to fail me. I don't see the other one. It was photoed here. It's right here in the picture. We'll cheat and get in closer this way. So it's just this kind of orange, light blue. They're kind of like the popular Traxxas colors right now, and I don't dig it on the Bigfoot. People can disagree with me, and I'm fine with that. Just me. It's my prerogative on that. So, I do like that. And so one of the things, I'm going to go through the comments here really quick. Hey, welcome, Ready, Set, RC. G's Green RCs. Just jumping in. Thanks for jumping in, man. But yeah, I like the wheels on those as well. I didn't point out the wheels, but they got the chevron tire pattern. I just prefer the look of these as far as a monster truck. I wish the four-wheel drive Stampede had these as well. And I kind of wish it didn't have the tub chassis. I understand why it does. But I do like the two-wheel drive just layout. And I literally have not had any issues other than like burning out motors in my original Stampede. And I've never had any transmission issues, never even stripped the spur gear on that thing. One time I thought I killed it, but it was just that the slipper came loose. I didn't know. I was, brand new 6 years ago. Didn't know a thing about RC cars. And I didn't know that there was a slipper in there or anything. It just pulled the trigger and it wouldn't go. It just whined. And I'm like, well, I just killed it. And I think I called up to Debbie's RC World and they said, dude, just tighten down the slipper clutch. Boom. Mr. Mad 2424 says he received the Arma pit mat. That's awesome, man. RC Guy Garage is saying he's killing me. He's got his own live stream going on. He's hoping he doesn't get a copyright strike while watching it while live. That's crazy. You're a crazy man. So let's hit back into the chat. RC Master says buy those wheels for it or they won't fit. They should fit. They are $60 for a set, which isn't too bad. I'll give it that. So David Pig says I have the Traxxas Bigfoot #1 autographed by Bob Chandler. Killer, man. So here's why I wanted that, because I have a clodbuster that is set up that way. And my youngest son, where he's been doing front yard RC retro racing, just using the Traxxas DTS1 system. It's a little drag race timing system. So we're using it to do basically monster truck racing, and he keeps crashing it, and it's got the Bigfoot one on it, and I know it's getting scratched up, and I just want to have another one on hand to put on there one day. But I'll probably run it because I can't help myself. I love the Stampede lineup. We'll probably do the same thing, but running all of these on 12 turns. We'll get Gravedigger, Son of a Digger, Bigfoot, put them all on 12-turn motors. And if both of these XL5s work, then I have 3 XL5s. So I have enough to put in everything. Should be good to go. But, yeah, nothing wrong with that thing, the original Gravedigger, except I did burn out motors because I'd run it all the time. But nothing ever with the transmission. Never stripped even or broke a drive shaft on it. The only thing that's happened is the shocks have popped off or ripped out, and I literally just screw them back in. It's still the original arms and everything on it. I just screw them back in and say whatever. But yeah. Bar Harbor Bachelor said, David, only one valid reason to make it a shelf queen. Oh yeah, because it's autographed. So yeah, so my grandma digger retro body, that's a dark side design, I think, painted body is signed by Dennis Anderson, and so I don't run that anymore. I got a the best person I've been going to get wraps from is Justin, and it's Fat Cat Customs, and so I have a wrap now, Grandma Digger, which is doing great. RC Propaganda's in the house. All right, so other than that, there was a couple things I was going to hit on. Other than the time change, there will be a time change coming in the new year, and I don't know. I'm probably going to do one more RC Conspiracies in December, and it's probably going to be whenever we hear about the SMT10. I will probably jump on to do something with whatever changes there will be to it, because I want to talk about it. If you guys aren't following it yet, the While My Batteries Charge podcast, I've been keeping that thing updated already to 9 episodes, and we've just started back at the end of October, so 9 in just over a month. So I'm keeping that uploaded 2 times a week-ish. They're short, kind of behind the scenes type of things, give you a little bit of information. That's a good spot for that. This is the longer format where I can talk to you guys, answer questions, kind of have somewhat of a guided topic. And so we are going to look at the Gen 8 here in a minute. But this week we did the Legend is back. We talked about the Losi Mini T 2.0. It's kind of a big, small deal. And then the other one was about the front yard RC retro monster truck racing. So I haven't been doing all of it. Travis Paul, hey from Punta Cana. Hey, Travis. Welcome. NetCruiser RC Tech says those Traxxas two-wheel drive transmissions are bulletproof. Same design since 1990 as far as I know. Dang. So I do make it a mention of that because I did actually, I was working on last night a bunch of stuff. So I upgraded my Freestyle RC Sticker Bomb 2, put in a new motor that I've had for almost a year, Castle Mamba X Pro short course, like 4600 kV censored. And it was supposed to go in Sticker Bomb 1 when I moved that to the 2.2 class. But I actually put it in the Freestyle RC because that one's kind of been tripping out on me a little bit. And that was like an old Novak system with like an Orion ESC or something. And I don't know anything about that. So I moved over to Castle, which is what I know. It's what I have my programming card and stuff for. And so that's now moved over. And it's faster, so that's good. Because I'm only running 2S in it. So I need a little bit more. And that says it can do up to 6S, which I don't believe. But what do I know? I'll probably try and run some 3S drone batteries in it and see how it does. So anyway, yeah. So the While My Batteries Charge podcast, and then there's a couple of cool things that we did see over on Facebook, which we'll get to later. But the Gen 8 Axe Edition, $499. You guys called it last week. Wow, what a deal. We priced that thing out, and if you were to just buy parts for it, you'd be spending like $700 for it. So it's like $200 in savings just right off the top. Maybe that's why they took the top off it. Save some money. But nah, they have a fabric top on there. So they've done extra work. You've got that fifth wheel on there. It's awesome looking. It's got clear front window. We'll take a look down here. Yeah, here's a better shot at it. The interior in it, I mean, it's just so nice looking. Beadlock wheels. You know, simple black paint, but they give you a bunch of different sticker options you can choose for it. I mean, like I said, I said in that thing I'm gonna get one, and so I'm gonna make it happen. I don't know how quickly, because I do want to maybe get the new SMT10 if there's any changes and do an unboxing of that and show the differences. But so we'll have to see. Adjustable wheelbase here shows the C-channel chassis. Cool mud flaps in here. Or fenders, wheel wells, whatever you want to call them. I'm live. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say wrong words all the time. And then this, the Hobbywing Axe 540 system. And I have one of these, and it's just so killer. This is the 2300 kV motor. So mine's like 1200. So this is going to be much faster than mine. But it still has such killer low end to it. Reefs RC, I mean, they went all out. And so I can't wait to see what the market has to say about whether or not people want something that comes decked out like this. Now, it's pretty interesting. I did see in there that it does say Redcat. So it's dual branded on this stuff, which is pretty cool. At least the Reefs RC. So that was kind of neat. NetCruiser RC Tech Car says it looks so good. Great specs. Seems only downside is noise it makes. And so they've even upgraded some stuff in here that were problematic before in the axles. RC Driver, Greg had such a great review on it when he got it. He must have been working with them on some of those specs. I know he voiced their video for it as well. So hopefully he got some insider info on it because he did a really stellar, thorough job kind of going through the changes and the upgrades to things that people have been having issues with or breaking with the axles and that. So really cool. Even the little cat hitch cover is cool. Yeah, so they did redo the logo. I don't know what I think about it. I mean, this is kind of like just a classic. It doesn't seem, it seems more timeless in the design elements of the older logo. This just feels a little too cartoony for me. So, I don't know. I'm sure it's easier for them to mold into products and make into stuff like that, but it looks like a college sports team, but maybe a high school team actually logo. You know, the Chesapeake Redcats. Anyway, this just, it seemed like, you know, you guys, I don't know if you've noticed or not, there's a little play I've been doing. So the RC Conspiracies thing is like, I go anti-design with it. Like everything that I learned about design, I kind of throw it out the window because my idea is there's a market for things. And so conspiracy theory stuff, I think in my mind, I picture somebody who's not a designer, but they're just like at a computer and they're crazy and nuts a little bit. And they're in Word and they're using like word art to make whatever it is that they're doing. Like they're flyers about some conspiracy that they want you to come to, some little meetup or whatever. And so I picture it being much, more grassrootsy. And so I try and kind of go for that with the design stuff. And so that's why it's kind of just not great intentionally with the wording and the fonting all over the pictures. And like, so I don't know if you guys ever noticed that it's just a little bit different look that I go for with that because I'm theming it kind of for that mood of what I would picture a conspiracy theorist to do. But anyway, getting back, there's just something a little bit more that stands the test of time. Maybe not with the riding Redcat here, but I think with the cat holding the tires, I think that lasts through generations more than something like this does. And so that's just my thought. Now I'm talking logos and design. Let's talk about the movement in it as well. The movement in the arcs that they got. So that was one of the things I got ripped on by somebody was when I was talking about the Low C Mini T and the front arms on it. I talked about the movement there. And it's such a design or art thing to talk about a movement in lines like that. And they just ripped me about how I don't know anything and whatever. So then you get my Capra video intro because of that. But no, I mean, overall, I like what they've done with the Scout 2 Axe Edition. And I think that, the people at Redcat are listening. I think that they've got a pulse on the community and the crawler community. And I think it shows with what they did with the Axe Edition. And so I'm really happy about what they're doing. RC Master says he's not feeling well, man. Hope you feel better. All right, I'm going to jump in the chat for a minute here. RC Master is out. Jimmy Pham says Redcat Racing is awesome. Michael Plummer says he agrees a fender looks odd. I haven't seen that. Somebody's asking when's it supposed to be available. I'm not sure. And that was Michael Plummer. Travis Prawl says 2S with that KV is money in the Pro C. Cool. What pinion size? I have a 15 in there right now. I kind of feel like a 16, 17 would be perfect in the Pro C with that setup. The Hot Racing 12 millimeter, 17 millimeter adapter has a hold down nut that won't fit the ground pounder. Any suggestions? Oh, that's a good question. Sam, ask the Sam group. CPE Crawford Performance has a ton of stuff for the ground pounder. Net Cruiser, I agree. The Camo X4 looks amazing. And you know what else looks amazing? I'm actually going to jump over to Facebook for a second. I'm going to actually add one. And I wish Basher Boy was in here because he'd think this was cool. And let's see. It was JT posted. There it is. Should have just waited and clicked on it. Check out this Team Magic model Seth 8th Desert Buggy. That looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I should probably actually just pull that up. Team Magic model Seth 8. Let's see what we can find here. That's a monster truck. But it's not. It's a desert buggy. So this looks pretty cool. Check out the... you guys can't see it. I hate when I do that. The Seth green, the Seth red. But the look of this thing is pretty sweet. Dust covers on the shocks. Go back up to the top here and show you. So over on JT's, it's a white looking one. I don't know why I was thinking Basher Boy would like something like this, because he keeps asking about desert buggies and he's all about his glamosphere. BK3 Nevu, who says enjoy the channel, keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Michael Plummer says Aussie RC has some videos of the Seth running. Oh, I'm gonna have to go check that out. I've not been able to get on YouTube very much these days. I've been so busy. I'm so far behind on everything. I've got a stack of boxes of stuff I have to get to still. I'm kind of plugging away at it, but I'm also trying to keep the stuff I need to running. I need to fix the DBXLE. All it is a rod end, and I need to fix it. And, yeah, I have bags of parts here even. These are the starter assembly for the 5T. I jacked that up the other day. I've got the spacer so I can put in a bigger spur gear on the 5T as well. Have no idea where the spur gear is now, but, you know, one day I'll find it. Chevy Man says, looks like a wild one from Tamiya. Yeah, it does. Fog City RC, welcome, Frog City. OMGRC has an ETA of 1213 for the Gen 8 Axe. Whoa. So that's like 3 days from now. 4 days from now. I don't know. I think today is the... Thank you, Travis. 18p. I will get one. So that was the other thing, was the Team Magic I saw. That was pretty cool. Going down the things that I saw to talk about, Vanquish has some new Capra axles in the works, and they're going to have to rework a lot of things. They're changing how it works. So I think they're going to have to do some of their own gearing and all that for them to work based on what they're doing with them. So that's pretty cool. Excited to see what they do there. Their stuff is always really nice looking. I know Harley was talking about it because he had some insider info about it, of course. Kyosho has this cool Corvette ZR1. Yeah, we can't have the music going. But got LED lights and everything. How cool is that? These little mini Zs with the hard bodies are just super nice. What else did I see from Kyosho? Was there anything else? Oh, there's the Hoonigan. with Kyosho stuff. Pretty cool. So this is what they were talking about earlier. So fresh squeezed RC. Had some really cool stuff going on with them. But that's where I first saw that Kyosho truck. And I had to have it. Was watching his videos. And yeah, he had a really cool thing going on. His videos on Instagram are amazing. This is my monster truck run. We'll show you guys really quick. Grandma Digger. The conspiracy here is, how did I win? I ended up taking first and third in retro. So first place with the Grandma Digger, third place with USA 1. So that was pretty cool. Glad Hobbytown was able to get some shots of that. I've also got, can you go back to the chat for a minute? I've also got footage of this Monster Vet retro that is just insane. He has it on a servo, lifts the body up. It's so much like the 1-to-1. He'd taken it to the Monster Truck Hall of Fame. They just had like the new inductees and all of that, and they had a big ceremony this past month. And he took it there, and they loved it, man. So Bar Harbor Basher saying Brandon's such an awesome guy. Yeah, man. What he does too with those cars is insane. So good. Michael Plummer says, I have the DB Pro listed as my favorite RC on my channel of this year. That I need to change. I think my new favorite is the, well, it's tough with the big ones. The DBXLE is just such an awesome car. In something more in the regular size, 10th scale probably that most people would get, I would probably say the Creighton 4S right now is my favorite. I'm able to race with it. Excuse me. And I actually had the fastest qualifying run and the fastest run, like lap time, with it this past weekend at the racing. Completely stock. I did adjust. The endpoints weren't set right on the throttle for some reason. That's why it wasn't wheeling for days like the Max was. Once I reset that, it is like wheelies for days, which I basically just have to, throttle control out when I'm racing it. But I raced at 4S, and that thing is just planted. So good. With the RPM arms on it, it's just awesome. I'll probably, when they come out with the upgraded drive shafts for it that are supposed to come out in January, I'll probably upgrade all of those, and hopefully it'll be indestructible at that point. Won't have to worry about it anymore. But really, the drive shafts, the only time I did pop one, and it was doing flips and landing on throttle weird. And, they're plastic drive shafts. That's going to happen. But normal running, I think it would be pretty tough to pop them. I haven't with racing or anything else had any issues with it. So to answer your question, I have had the Losi out more. I haven't done videos with a lot of stuff recently. Like I didn't do any videos of the build stuff I did last night. I didn't do any videos with my sons doing the RC retro because I've done that a couple times. I only recorded that one time that I posted. But I've been trying not to do recordings of them and everything that they do because I get kind of tired of it. So, the Losi Mini T had that out the other day. That thing's awesome. I hear the arms on that have been breaking. They've been really good, and they have a page, and people are basically sending messages to Losi through the page. They've asked for us to, and they'll send out the upgraded part for it when it breaks. So that's pretty cool of them. So I think that's a factory thing. It's tough when you're a company because like you do all these like pre-tests and all this stuff you go through, and what you test and what you say is good isn't necessarily what is put into production. It's based off of that, but the production run, they might change stuff and you don't know it until they come out and they start having issues. But they've been, they've been doing right by their name, and they've been out there and they've been replacing them, and the new ones look really beefy. So if you have one and you have issues, be sure to join that group. Let them know you're having issues. Travis Paul says Freestyle Nationals next August. See you there. I hope to be there. RC Propaganda says, I really like my 4S Outcast. A lot of fun. Randy DeMax says, Losi cannot turn back. The Pro needs to be the standard. Plastic chassis and the Tenacity were awful. Yeah, I hope that they go forward with that stuff. I mean, they did it even with the Mini T's. They went metal chassis, so that's pretty cool. The Mini T too. Kyosho Bar Harbor says Kyosho had fresh squeeze RC, try out the Cycle Cruiser V2 success and said it's sick. That's awesome, man. Earl RC, isn't the 4S platform the same as the Granite 3S platform, but with 4S electronics in the metal center brace? So it's similar. It's definitely sharing chassis. So the Creighton is using the Senton chassis, and then the Outcast, I believe, is using the Granite chassis. Arms are different. Arms aren't the same. And I don't know about some of the other internals. It is new electronics for sure for the 4S or 4S capable. But at $369 for those things right now, guys, I have a link actually in the description of this video to the Horizon Hobby 12 Days of Christmas. And what's on there that I want more than anything is that timber plane, the UMX, that you can basically take off in like 5 feet or less and land it with no room needed to land. I think 5 feet as well. Landing room. So that is what I'm liking. That's $100, normally 150. So that's on my list. Rich Homan says, I'm loving the Typhon 3S. Can't wait to upgrade it to 4S. So the Typhon shares the same chassis as one of them as well. So they have some shared parts all throughout. Crazy Cam Kalani saying, yes, there's some differences, but arms and bodies, yeah. Net Cruiser says 4S electronics and slipper and gear are all upgraded over the 3S. Yeah, and so they also I think they have coming out metal ring and pinion gears that you can get for your diffs as well. They're going to be coming out with. So that'll make it even more bulletproof. Earl says his Granite 4x4 3S is one of his favorites. Yeah, man, I love that thing. Trenton and Elkhorn says, hi, I love getting the videos. Wish I can get it for you. I don't know what that means. I might have missed something. All right, so I don't know what else I had. Not a whole lot. I already looked at the Traxxas. I wanted to mention the Stampede I found. I did have some pictures, but it looks like I somehow closed out the whole window of them. It was going to be... Oh, so I did do upgrades as well. I haven't posted the video yet. But I did do upgrades to the Sen. So I do now have metal links on it. And somebody was mentioning the 4 links that they don't really like how it's done. It is kind of weird that they both go to the outside of the axle instead of going on top of the pumpkin with the uppers. So it is kind of an interesting setup for it. Made it a little tricky with getting it all in there and lined up. But it looks good with these ones on there. The main thing now is I feel like if somebody made a mount to put the servo on the axle, I think a lot of problems would be solved. The biggest issue for me now is the steering, and even with a new servo in it, it still doesn't self-center very well. And it's giving me a bit of issues driving it straight on the track, especially on cement where there's a lot of grip. Net Cruiser says, talk to me out of selling your Outcast 4S. He's got it listed, but may regret selling it. Nope, man. I say sell it and get the, if you're going to do a 4S, get the Creighton. If you're going to do an Outcast, do the 6S. It's a little bit longer. Earl says he honestly thinks he likes his 3S Granite more than his 6S Outcast. Interesting. See, RC Propaganda likes the short wheelbase. See, for me, for racing, I like the longer one. Although Mike Dayton of Hobbytown, man, he's just good with anything, and he can really rip with that 6S or the 4S Outcast out there. Does really good. I was doing really good with mine. I ended up taking third place with it because I wrecked when I was out there. So, I got to buy the first time around, and then the way that their brackets work, and I don't know enough about how race brackets and all that work, but the winner's at the bottom bracket. And so when I came up, the way that it worked is the bottom part of the bracket had one extra race in it, which seems odd for the first place person to have to do an extra race. Seems like normally they would have the faster way to get to the final. But I had to do like an extra race that was for third, and that would then move on to the race for first, where the top line went down and kind of didn't have anything in that position where that was. When I was looking at just waiting to see when my racing was going to be. And so I ended up losing to Jeremy because I wrecked on the jump and rolled it. And you hit that wing and you were stuck. But overall, it does really, really great. I love the 4S Creighton. Everyone out there is just wowed by it. When you hit the brakes and turn, it lifts one wheel, but the way it plants, it's almost impossible to roll. It's awesome. And so in that, it's completely opposite of the Max 4S, but not as indestructible as the Max, that's for sure. But it's definitely, as far as driving abilities and capabilities, it is insanely precise and fun. Oh, so Net Cruiser saying he has the opposite, the Forest Outcast and the 6S Creighton. RC Propaganda, I just want to have metal drive shafts. Yeah, that would work if it had the metal ring and pinion gear on the diff. The ring gear and that are plastic. The internals are metal, but not the outer ones. So Randy Demock says, what radio are you using on the Creighton 4S? I used the stock one until recently. I just moved over to the rugged. But when I do my tests and all of that, I try and keep things stock so people can see what it operates like when I get it out of the box. But once I got racing, I'm carrying as it is too many controllers, and I swapped it over. Trash Can Panda, where you at, Met says. Travis Paul, the Centrek is a work in progress. They did a lot of R&D at Showdown. Yeah. And they brought even more stuff to the finals, which is only a couple months later. And they definitely have been working on stuff. And now they're starting to bring out some of their stuff. But all it would take is somebody 3D printing them out or making it out of metal. There are 2 screw holes on the top of that axle where you could put a mount or a brace to allow maybe for the on-axle steering, and that would change things. Or if you just moved it forward, because right now all of the steering goes backwards to the transmission, and then it's on some kind of swivel thing, so they can... What they're trying to do is for like the people that just want it for fun, it allows you to put on another turnbuckle and have force steer. But for racing, you don't need that. And it's just one more point that's causing it to hang up on self-centering. Get rid of that, and you're probably a lot more golden with that truck. Because I've got it pretty dialed other than the steering. It feels really good. 11 Charlie RC, welcome, brother. I was telling everybody about your live stream coming in. And the name of this is The Changes for the New Year. And that's about moving RC Conspiracies to Tuesday nights. Bar Harbor Basher says, I'd take a Techno MT 410 over a Max. Yeah, for cost. For sure. Troy's Hobbies just got home from work at Hobbytown. Broke his new Remo monster truck. I saw that, man. Where did you get that? I've been trying to get one of those. He's got the Batman Remo monster truck. The only place I can find it is from Australia. Crazy saying Creightons or all the 6S lines for that matter. Weakest point is the chassis and diffs. So it gets super expensive. Man, I planted mine. I thought I bent it, but it is not bent. It's just the normal. They've got that front end kicked a little bit just for steering. That's all that my Creighton 8S has too. Still not bent. So yeah. I haven't quite done like Duper Bash or any of those guys as far as sending it, but I've launched it pretty good flips. And then that first one when I broke it and that first run, that was a really hard hit on the nose. And then I did a really hard hit on the nose again. You guys haven't seen it. Shoot, why haven't I edited that video? I have a video from, what was it from? It was from, I put on the road tires, what tires are those? I've got the videos listed over here. Nope, it's not on there. Why isn't it there? Power Hobbies. They're the belted tires, and I did a video showing it on the street, then I took it back and I tried to flip with it. And you don't get the rotation when your tires aren't pancaking as much. You don't get the rotating mass. And so, yeah, I didn't make the flip. Didn't even just one. I didn't make a single flip, full throttle. That's how good those belted tires keep them down. And, yeah, it hit hard. I don't know where the video is, but I have it. Scorpion belted tires. There it was. When did I shoot that? That was back November 11th is when I shot that. And I planted it hard. All right. So I'm going to wrap up here in just a minute, guys. I'm going to jump back over to the chat, see what you guys are saying. Kind of buried it behind the windows I was looking at. 11 Charlie, thanks, man. Joe says his max handle's great. Just love the smoothness and durability of it. Troy's Hobby says AliExpress or pre-order at SoCal Hobbies to buy. I saw it on SoCal Hobbies, but it was pre-order. I wasn't sure if that was just a joke or like it had sold out and they just still had it on there listed as pre-order. Interesting. So you did get it from AliExpress. Here, I'm going to show you guys this thing. I'll pull it up maybe on AliExpress. And I'll just go right to Remo Hobby Batman. And so Aussie RC had one. And then they used to be on Banggood for a while. They're not there anymore. Here, we got it. And so guys want it. I just kind of want it for the body more than anything. But it does have force steer, things like that. I remember when I first saw it, I really wasn't into solid axle monster trucks. And I was like, man, that thing's slow. And I'm comparing it to like, four-wheel drive, independent suspension stuff. And it just looks slow and bouncy. But now looking back, it's, a lot like a lot of solid axle trucks. And Troy was saying that it's actually running the same axles as the Gen 7 from Redcat. So he's able to get parts for the axles because of that. Trying to see if there's any media stuff on it. No. So interesting. Interesting for sure. But yeah, so here's RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7 with it. He's muted. You can see it's got 8 shocks. Definitely looks like a solid axle setup. 4 steer, but it's kind of quick, maybe compared to like a SMT10, but you can see how bouncy it is. It's got that, to me, a kind of bounce to it. Sorry, Steve, I'm using your video. Yeah, it doesn't actually look that bad as far as speed goes for a brushed system. But it's definitely got some cool scale looks to it. I just think it'd be fun. I like solid axle stuff. I like the bounciness of it. I don't need them to be super fast like some of the other stuff. It's just one of my favorite classes. Rich was saying that was a heavy hit, the first one. Yeah. Drifto saying belted tires, don't use them for flipping as they have zero give in them. You risk the suspension busting if you land on hard surfaces. Yep. We were just sending it to show the difference. Earl RC, belted tires are only good for speed runs, not for bashing. Yes. Agreed. It does make it fly a lot straighter, though. But speed runs with that is not something I plan to do with the Success Outcast. It was fun, just drifting around out there, but that was about it. Troy's Hobby says it's faster than the Sen and the Wheelie King. Wow. Interesting. Jim Ryan says it rides like a Tamiya. Yeah, exactly. It does ride bouncy like a Tamiya. Jaro's RC Crawling and Racing. Do you think the Mini T can take some bashing? Good for bashing? No. I don't. Especially not with the arms it has on it right now. Maybe the upgraded ones, but it's small. Terrain-wise, there's only so much it can take on. So you need somewhat smooth surfaces, whether clay, carpet, cement. It can get through the grass, but it's not the best. It'll fight its way through. It's got the heart of a lion. But yeah. I took it just off a little plastic jump over and over and over, and it was fine for that. But beyond that, for $130, maybe save up and get like the Stampede 2-wheel drive monster truck if you want to bash it. They're like $170. I would probably recommend that over it if you're looking to bash. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will be coming at you again in the new year. I'm going to get some more guests in here talking about stuff, and their channels. It's going to probably change a little bit. There'll still be some conspiracy stuff going on, of course. But a lot of the conspiracies and new stuff comes in waves. And so we'll kind of intermix some of the stuff with new announcements, but also just talking with people, kind of find out what they want out of the hobby, what they would hope for in a new RC. Because part of what I see this being useful for is for us to kind of let companies know what we want. Like Traxxas, we want a solid axle monster truck now. So there was a funny question that somebody had in a small group that I'm part of, and they asked, what company, if you could only have one company, only buy cars from one company, what would it be? And that was a tough question. I don't know that I like my answer. So I put it out there to you guys. What would it be? Steve C, RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. We were just on your channel looking at the Remo Hobby Monster Jam Batman video you had. Trash Can Ninja Conspiracy. Will Traxxas respond next year? Could be a good year. So the other thing that I think that Traxxas should do is that they should come out with the 6th or 5th scale crawler and do something that's not out there, because when they do stuff like that, I think, they did it with the Max and X-Max, and it went nuts. And I think people want a little bit bigger size crawler, but they don't want to have to deal with, going through Asia Tees or whatever. But if you did it through Traxxas and had great part support, they could get right in any hobby shop in America, most in Canada, lots all over the world. I think you'd see some sales in that market. Yeah, Steve, it's I've been looking at it because with all the solid axle stuff and we're always doing custom bodies, I've really wanted that Batman one. I'd actually mentioned it to you. I was looking for it. And so I've been still looking for it, and I just found a Traxxas I've been looking for. And I've been looking for it, and then Troy's Hobbies just came up with one, and he got it in the U.S. somehow. And I'm like, where'd you get it? I've only seen him in Australia. And apparently you can get it from Asia Tees. So, not Asia Tees, AliExpress. So I need to look into that. So, okay, so some people are saying if they could only buy from one company, what would it be? Forrester 674 saying Arma. Travis Paul says Arma is low C. What does that mean? Jim Ryan says good mid split. Michael Plummer low C. Randy says Arma or low C. I think yeah. So the thing, I was thinking about, like, I would say Horizon if I could, but that's not, I'm not able to do that. That's not a brand of RC. You only choose one brand. And so what would it be? Low C doesn't really own Arma. It's Horizon that owns Arma, right? And Low C and many others. And so Jaro's saying Traxxas because they have so many cars. So if you can't choose Horizon, you have to choose a brand of car or a brand of RC. RC Tanks and Trucks, Primal RC. Bam! That's what I want for the new year, man. I still want to be one of the January people. I don't see it happening, though. I'd have to somehow raise money to get one. Maybe sell all these ones that I have in here to afford it. But it is on my want list. So I would have never thought I would have said this, but I would probably have to choose Traxxas. They've got the X-Max. They've got the Stampede. They've got the Slash. But they've got boats. They've got drone. They've got the crawler, the TRX4 and the 6 and all of the iterations of that. So I was kind of shocked when I had to think about it because it's one brand that does all of the different parts. And so it's kind of a trick question, right? Because I would rather in those instances have like low C or for a lot of them, the DVX-E, the 5T, but they don't have boats or they don't have drones or some of that stuff. They don't have a crawler, and I would, I'd want to have a crawler if I could only. So it just makes it tough, man. They've got the UDR, Traxxas does, so you could have a bigger. Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting wake up call when I was like, oh wow, yeah, I would choose that as well. Looking at it that way. Looking at it other ways, if I could combine it all into Horizon, I would probably choose. Well, I'd definitely choose Horizon because that's what I have the most of, from Axial to Low C to Arma, the planes that I have, the Horizon planes that I have. So, but yeah, when you're just doing one brand, that changed things. It was weird. Crazy Cam Kalani says, or New Bright. Yeah, man. RC Tanks and Trucks says, yeah, hopefully they are too, the brushless conversion. So Crazy Cam saying the same thing. With only one brand, he'd do Traxxas, huge variety of stuff. Yeah. Yep. Travis Paul, Horizon for the win. Yeah, and so that's the difference. So you've got Traxxas that just does everything under the one name, and then you've got Horizon, who then has a bunch of different brands based on what it is. From your ECX to your low C, you know, from like the beginner version to the, and you know, whether that's better or not, you know, because the Traxxas, the one thing that they do get is if you start with a beginner Traxxas, but you like it and the experience, you stay with that name. And I think Losi was trying to do that. You know, you guys were griping about it in the comments with like the Tenacity originally with the plastic chassis. And that was really gained at getting lower price point stuff and getting that brand name with people and user experience and then taking them up through your Pro line. Not Pro line, the company, but you know what I mean. So anyway, luckily we don't have to make that choice is what NetCruiser's saying. Agreed. I'm glad that I have the ability to choose any RC that I want to. And I'm not sponsored in a way that I can only run one RC car. Terry Barker, DDM Racing. Yeah, buddy. Got my sticker right here. So anyway, guys, that was just kind of a fun little ender. Something to think about. Kind of get us going. But, yeah, excited to see what Primal's going to do in the new year. Excited to see what Horizon and Axial and them are going to do with the SMT10 in the new year and what's going to happen with Solid Axle. I just want to keep seeing it grow. Love seeing what Primal RC is doing with the fifth scale. I'd love for Losi to come out with a big fifth scale one, you know, because they discontinued the other monster truck after the Primal came out. So wouldn't it be cool if they dropped one? I don't see it happening, but it'd be awesome if they did, for sure. But there's also stuff like Bari Musawar is doing his custom fifth scale electric monster truck builds. That's something else I've looked into. And yeah, I need to figure out what the new year is going to hold. I definitely want to get a big solid axle monster truck in this new year and get it on the channel for you guys. So depends which way we go. But yeah, we'll catch you later. You're all saying goodbye to each other. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, have fun RCing, and we'll catch you next time. Not next Monday. We're going to take a little bit of a break. Let 11 Charlie RC do their thing. And whenever I jump on again, it'll be probably the same day that they announce the SMT10. So when you see that hit, be prepared for another RC conspiracy to come your way. See you guys. Michael Plummer says, want to see more from Element RC2. Amen to that. Chaser McNeil, as long as you have fun, it doesn't matter what brand you use. That's a good way to end out.